Imagine you're enjoying your vacation on the beach. But not just any beach. You're in Bali, one of the most beautiful tropical paradises in the world. And then, without warning, the ocean starts washing garbage onto the shore. That can happen today on this famous Indonesian island. Why? Because Bali's waste problem has spiraled out of control.
Government needs to do something about this. You have many rats here at night time. The smell is not very good, and for tourist people coming here, it's not a good look. No one wants to see it on the beach, and we all always like to keep our beaches clean.
Indonesia is home to 284 million people, making it the fourth most populous country in the world, behind only India, China, and the United States. Every year, all those people generate around 40 million tons of waste. Of that total, about 40% is food waste, while nearly 1/5 consists of plastic. Only about 1/3 of it is recycled or properly processed. The rest often ends up in the ocean. The smell is affecting business. Customers decide not to buy, and they tell their friends that the area smells bad because the garbage has been piling up and isn't being collected. As a business owner, it's definitely causing problems for us. In 2015, a study found that Indonesia was the world's second-largest contributor to marine plastic pollution, behind only China. Things got even worse in 2017, when China stopped accepting imported waste from other countries. As a result, neighboring nations such as Malaysia, Indonesia, Thailand, and India were left dealing with much larger amounts of waste. That's how we ended up with scenes like these. Beaches that should look like paradise are now buried beneath trash. Areas that should attract tourists have become open-air dumps, filled with rats and acrid smoke rising from frequent garbage fires. To understand why this is happening, we first need to look at Indonesia's laws. Open dumping has technically been banned in Indonesia since 2013, but authorities have only recently begun trying to fully enforce the regulation. One immediate consequence was restrictions on Bali's main landfill. As a result, organic waste has increasingly ended up in streets and neighborhoods before eventually reaching waterways and the ocean. This has happened despite a 2019 ban on single-use plastics such as shopping bags and plastic straws. The Suwang landfill, near Bali's capital, receives around 1,000 tons of garbage every day and has been operating far beyond its capacity for years. But the problem isn't just visual. As much as 70% of the waste consists of organic material. Over time, this decomposes and produces methane, a gas that significantly increases the risk of fires, explosions, and even landslides at waste disposal sites. And these dangers aren't just theoretical, they've already happened multiple times. In March, the country's most important landfill, located on the outskirts of Jakarta, collapsed, killing 7 people. The disaster shook not only Indonesian society but also the country's political leadership. For nearly 15 years, waste has not been managed properly. This has created an emergency situation across cities and districts. We now need to implement strategic measures step by step, improve waste management capacity, and strengthen waste sorting systems. The crisis affects not only Bali's 4.4 million residents but also tourism, which is the backbone of the island's economy. Last year alone, around 7 million tourists visited Bali. At the same time, tourists have become one of the biggest sources of complaints about the foul odors caused by the growing mountains of waste. Something needs to be done about this. There are rats here at night, the smell is terrible, and for tourists coming here it's not a good image. The solution proposed by President Prabowo Subianto is expected to be fully implemented by 2029. The plan, developed by the Ministries of Interior and Environment, includes several phases. The first focuses on building waste processing facilities centered on reducing, reusing, and recycling materials. Later stages would introduce waste-to-energy technologies and systems that convert garbage into alternative fuels. To support this effort, the government has identified 33 landfill sites for intervention. Authorities have also proposed large-scale educational campaigns, especially promoting composting and better waste separation. In the meantime, they are pursuing short-term measures. For example, people caught burning or illegally dumping garbage could face up to 3 months in jail or fines of 50 million rupiah, roughly $3,000. But solving the crisis isn't just the government's responsibility. Indonesian authorities are also relying heavily on the private sector to help reduce waste. One example is Sungai Watch, an organization dedicated to removing garbage from rivers. Working with local companies, It recycles collected plastics and transforms them into products such as sandals and chairs. Bali's garbage problem is more than just a ruined postcard image. It's a crisis created by producing waste far faster than it can be managed. And while the government's long-term solutions may not arrive until 2029, garbage continues to accumulate today, filling rivers, streets, and beaches. And that has become the greatest vulnerability of one of Southeast Asia's most iconic tourist destinations.